that, you ornery metal critters! Hey-ya! You want some of this?
They seem more like vermin to me than critters.
Take that, you oversized blender! Come get some, you dang nematodes!
Sandy sounds like she's in trouble.
No, I think she's just yelling at a wall or something. I don't hear her like actually hitting anything.
Get Spongebob to the end of the hallway and through the door. Click the switches in a specific order to remove the arms blocking the way. Clear all 3 levels to continue to the next game.
Okay. Did I just happen to guess that all right or something? I don't... I just clicked all the switches and it worked. What was the deal there? Is there a pattern I have to figure out on my own now this time? There's not a lot of feedback I'm getting here. Can't I click that one? There we go. Okay. Interesting.
Way to go! You've earned a small gear.
Oh, that time he says a small gear with emphasis on gear, not the small part. But there was in fact a small gear to go with a large gear. Alright. So what's the idea now? Also, I don't want to get scored for time, I guess. But the game gives you no feedback. I'm weirded out that I managed to get those first 2 right in the first place. And I guess they're ordered in different, or they're placed differently, which is interesting. Okay. I'd have to manually reset everything too. I don't remember what color I started with last time. I started with green this time. Okay, that's not it apparently. Odd. I got 2 of them. Everything else so far was me repeating the same pattern over and over again. But not this time. What about... Okay. Christmassy colors. It's not Christmas. It's Boxing Day. I don't know if they're really Boxing Day colors, but... Interesting little patterns. It's a bit more intellectually stimulating than most of this game. I don't remember what patterns I did. Have I not done red and yellow? Okay. Well, whatever that was.
You've earned a switch.
Yeah, I think I have. I have demonstrated mastery over the switches. Whatever they do.
And he made it, ladies and gentlemen.
I made it, thank you.
Let's give him a hand. Get it? Hall of Arms. Hand.
Quit laughing, little square dude, and get me out of here.
Oh, right away, Sandy.
Okay, see you in a bit. Here we are for the final double speed segment, hopefully. Rock Bottom. I don't know why Rock Bottom gets mentioned so much in the Spongebob games, because it doesn't come up much in the show. Also, Sandy, you're halfway outside of the cage already. Why can't you get out on your own? This time though, I really have no idea whatsoever what to talk about, so this might end up a little awkward. I guess we'll just have to make do with what we have. I've been wondering a little bit why this particular part of the game crashes when I use a different video card. And honestly, I really don't know. I guess there's some graphical effect here that the other card can't handle, but I can't imagine what that could be. Or me. Because nothing here looks especially strange or interesting. It would also have to be something unique to this particular type of minigame. My best guess is actually the numbers on the screen. Not the score, but instead, the timer that appears somewhere on the screen. I don't know what that could possibly be doing that would cause the game to crash when I'm running it with the better graphics card, but that's the only idea that I have. Lay it on me. From the game's perspective, I'm answering these really quickly. Actually, I do think she goes skiing and or snowboarding from time to time. Usually on a shell, which the console version actually makes reference to. Who is clapping for us? And why doesn't SpongeBob get a nice booth to answer at as a contestant? The host gets a nice booth. And at least the prisoner gets to have something a little interesting too, in the form of a cage. I don't know though, who's actually putting these characters in cages. Because this robot doesn't look particularly threatening. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't really know what the robots are doing in this version of the game, now that I think about it. In the console version, I can see it from here. Oh wait. In the console version, you can see that the robots are quite violent. You don't just see them attack SpongeBob and friends, but you also see all the destruction around the whole city and surrounding areas, and you have lots of introductory scenes for different robots, showing them doing mean things to different people. So you can see what they do to the general populace. But in this game, we see a brief cutscene in the opening, where the robots are causing some kind of havoc, but we still don't really see what it is that they're doing that is problematic. For instance, we see a bunch of heads bouncing around on the ground, but why is that a problem? And why are Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy hiding from them? What is a sandy? A precious thread in the tapestry of life. I feel like that should be the correct answer. I don't think it's necessarily untrue. I don't think you can hear me yawning, which I've done a couple times now. But it would probably sound pretty interesting in double speed. Sandy, why are you making those sounds? SpongeBob's getting restless too. He's just starting to itch all over. Itching with anticipation and impatience. I'm sure the host is having fun on the other hand. She doesn't. She's really good at holding her breath. Oh, see! 2. Through her gills. How else? That one was a little low scoring since I was being silly, but oh well. Not too many questions left, I don't think. We're getting quite close to finishing this game. This has been quite... well, I should probably wait until I finish the game to talk about how this has been as an experience to finish the AWE SpongeBob series. Go away, Fishhead. Put your shirt back on. Question. Why do you keep asking me about their appearances? And why do you intersperse these questions with really strangely specific questions that were just one-off gags in other episodes? Whereas there are still questions like this one, where you can see the answer right in front of you. I guess the idea is to have some questions that are really easy, and some that are harder, and the easy ones make it possible to complete the stage without too much difficulty, and the other more difficult questions are for getting better points. But even then, the minigame before this one actually required some thought, so I have a feeling that we're at a point here where they're not assuming that the player is so incapable of playing the game well. We keep asking about what she breathes. She holds her breath there too, or space dust. She's a celestial being, though it would be a very interesting twist. I think that's the dolphin though. I have noticed other quizzes doing that, repeating the same subject matter multiple times for no apparent reason. I'm really curious just how familiar AWE was with SpongeBob by the time they finished their games that they made for the show, because they had depicted the world so many times and made so many references to the show that you would think they got really into the groove of it. I'd say they did a decent job considering how they wrote Plankton and Company particularly well in the SpongeBob movie game. Sandy Squirrel, Sandy Buns, great. AWE humor. Sandy Beach. I don't know why I keep yawning. I guess doing everything so slowly just makes me feel tired. Thankfully, we only have one more question, and after that, there will probably be more things to keep me awake. Let's get to that last question. Any day now. The only martial art that ever appears in Western media. Tai Shu Do. And yogurt. And yoga. I figured there'd be at least one other actual martial art. Tai Shu Do is the closest it got. Anyways, I'm pretty tired of speaking slowly now, so I'll see you guys later in the next episode of Let's Play SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom for the PC, where we probably get pretty close to finishing the game, if we don't finish it. In a normal speed, hopefully. Anyways, bye everyone. I could have gotten almost a perfect score on this level if I hadn't taken a long time to answer that one question. Oh well.